My life has taken quite a few turns. I lost my mother. A part of me is still mourning my mother. My sister committed suicide. It was too much for her to handle, I guess. My dad was sentenced to 20 years in prison. So I guess with that said, I qualified to be called an orphan, don't you think? Hi there, Tsholofelo. I am from the northwest province of South Africa. I'm 34 years old and loving it. Ke motlogolo wa Haramushu, motlogolo wa Magano, motlogolo wa Machila. My life has taken quite a few turns, and one of the major turns that it has taken was, I think, at the age of 5. At the age of 5, my one sister and I witnessed the death of my mother. Very traumatic thing that left both of us scarred for the rest of our lives. My mom was literally burnt from head to toe. My sister tried to rescue her, but she failed at it. Just when I thought my sister and I were healing and staying with my aunt, little did I know that my sister was slowly dying inside. She was 16 at the time. She was 16 years of age, and she decided, unfortunately, that it was the end of her life. She committed suicide. I was broken at that point. I think my mother's death, yes, it hurt me, but my sister's, it damaged me, if I can put it that way. At the age of around 7, my dad was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Now, where did that leave me? I guess I qualified to be called an orphan, because then I had then lost my mom, lost my dad, and now lost my sister. So if you're an orphan out there, I know how it feels. My dad's elder brother, who loved us so much and loved his brother, obviously, decided to adopt me. He actually adopted me legally. He showed me the papers and said, from now on, I'm your dad, not your uncle. And it was a great moment, you know. He really loved me. Little did I know that I would lose him too. Why me? Why me? It was a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, either a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon, and we were having conversation, and I remember he was outside with my aunt, who's also my mom. They were having a conversation outside, and then he said he needed to go and do something. He went out of the house. Little did we know that that would be the last time we ever had to spend time with him. He passed on. I remember running to my bedroom after people came and reported that our car was found in an accident. I ran to my room and I said, please God, don't let him die, don't let him die. Please, I'll do anything you want, I'll be a good girl. But he died. So I had to then mourn him again, and I was broken. I was broken. So I think those experiences have have been one of the most traumatizing in my life, and they have left a scar in my life. I stayed in Mafikeng from that age of 8 when my uncle took me in up until I matriculated. I remember I didn't really take school that serious, you know. I found rest with my friends, and I found a sense of belonging when I was with my friends, and we didn't really take school that serious. I think the turn when it came to my career, which I'm so grateful for today, is when I failed my grade 11. I remember all my friends had their reports and they were celebrating, and I had failed. That was the most beautiful, effective thing that could ever happen to me. What was meant to break me actually took me to higher levels. You know, from being an orphan, from losing my mom, not only losing her but witnessing her death was traumatic. From seeing my sister all over newspapers, I was excited when I saw my sister until I realized that no, my sister is actually now famous for the wrong thing. She's dead. And not only is she dead, but she killed herself. And from then seeing my uncle, who was now my adoptive dad, all over the newspapers with news readers coming to our house, that was meant to kill me, you know. I believe that my life was at a crossroad where I could either take left and become traumatized and maybe even kill myself or live like a zombie, or I could take right and ask questions of who am I, questions of how did I get here, questions of why me, questions of where are they. And I believe at that moment I decided to take that turn of asking questions to the universe. I didn't know it was God, I didn't have a label. I asked questions. And I believe those questions were later on answered. Not immediately, it was a journey of discovery. The journey of discovery for me, if I look back, it was ongoing. I'll give you one of the instances. I was in grade 11, and you know, I enjoyed spending time with my friends because I think that's what kind of gave me comfort and a sense of belonging, because they celebrated me and I was like the leader and I liked the attention that I got, until all my friends passed and I failed. When I failed, it was like a slap in the face, but a good slap, because I was woke. From there on, I woke up. The answer to some of the questions that I continuously asked, it was the beginning of me receiving the answers. I had to start taking my life seriously. So it was like the universe said, well, you asked. Come with us on a journey of discovery. Because when I failed, I started going within to say, why me? Why did I fail? Why did all my friends who I thought I, was better than in all these subjects passed, but I failed? I cried and, I was humiliated, but it was a good thing. Not all mess is bad. Sometimes a mess is there to promote you, only if you realize. And I love what happened. I then started going deep into why I failed, and I realized that I lacked focus, I lacked self-esteem, And I did not seize the power of my choice. Everybody else said maths was difficult, and so I went with everybody else, and I did not realize that that did not come from me. It was not what I had discovered in my own experiences, but I went with what everybody said. And all of a sudden, the slap in the face awoke me, and then I became present. I became present, I became awake, and I started looking, and I had to face the giant and said, who are you? And I looked at the giant, and it was, my giant was mathematics, and I fell in love. I spent time with maths, and I fell in love. And what I discovered, the key thing I discovered is that if you fall in love with what you do, and if you enjoy it, success is a given. It's a given. Don't focus on the end result, but detach yourself from the result and fall in love with the journey. And I believe the distinction in mathematics, the same mathematics that I failed grade 11 due to, I then excelled and I got an A for it. Why? My perception changed. Why? I became present. Why? I asked questions and I faced it for what it was, and I didn't go with what the crowd said. Why? Because I had fun with it, and I detached myself from the results, but I was in the moment with it, and I fell in love, and success was a given, and it became a reality. That was one of the major things that happened to me, and you can take it lightly and say, well, it was matric, but it affected my life so much that the same principle, I started becoming aware of other areas of my life. I then went to the University of the Free State, where I studied there for a couple of years, and cut the long story short, today I am working as a quantity surveyor. I'm working as a project manager. I'm in the construction industry, which is male dominated, and I am not defined by my background. Neither am I defined by my gender. Neither am I defined by my experiences. But I keep on asking the question of, who am I? Why am I here? And why me? And I continuously am on a journey of discovery. And it's beautiful.